Russell Hotels going live just for a couple minutes. You guys know how I do it. This is a daily check-in. I do this daily check-in Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Today is Thursday, so happy Thursday. Today is Thursday, May 22nd, 2025. Hey, you know what? You ever gone back? You ever, gone back to an old hotel or a former hotel of yours and just kind of look at the changes and what's been happening the last several years since you've been there last. Well, that's what I did today. So I took some time and went back to the Sheraton Universal. I used to be the director of sales and marketing there at one time. Okay, so it's always good to go back and see the transformation of the hotel. Maybe they done some improvements, some soft renovation or whatever. Well, they've done a whole thing over there, right? So if you go through the lobby, one thing that I noticed, as soon as you walk through the door, you see they have a Starbucks in the lobby now. I'm like, what? They have a Starbucks, they have a marketplace. You know how Marriott's have the market where you can buy your snacks, and I think you can do beer and wine and snacks for the kids and things like that, maybe grab and go sandwiches or whatever. But they have that. Then they have what used to be the gift shop. Who needs a gift shop anymore? Aren't gift shops kind of passe? Do they make a lot of money? Probably not. So they put in a Starbucks. I mean, there's people lined up for Starbucks, right? So I can just imagine how it is in the morning. People got to get that fix, right? So why not have it at the Sheraton in the lobby, right? That's what I'm talking about. And another thing that they did was they put, I don't know how many, I'll say 10 to 15 Tesla charging stations. So you get a line of cars that are just lined up to get charged. Guess where they go? And there's signage in the parking lot saying that why your car is charging, because of course we all know it's like, what is it, 45 minutes to an hour to charge your car. Go into the Starbucks, right? So they're just doing gangbusters over there. So shout out to the Sheraton Universal for utilizing their space to make more revenue, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about for a hotel, right? How can we make more revenue from the space that we currently have? That's dead space, that's not being utilized the way it should be. So if they have like I said, a gift shop space who's buying stuff at the gift shop anyway? I couldn't even imagine who's doing that anymore. I mean, you get little things, but are people really spending a lot of money in gift shops? But you put a Starbucks in there, ugh, I think same day, you probably make more in that one day than the gift shop makes all month. You know what I mean? Game changer. So anyway, so shout out to the Sheraton again. It was good to go and hang out for a little bit and kind of reminisce a little bit, not a lot, but reminisce about when I was there back in the day, and to see some people, right? So I saw some people that that kind of meant something to me. You know what I mean? When I was there, they helped me out, and I appreciate that. So shout out to Claire Bell, shout out to Easy Money, shout out to Ruth, shout out to Ernesto. You know what? Just shout out to them. Okay, those are people that I saw, and I appreciate them coming by and saying, hey. So that's what it's all about. So today, you guys know I always showcase a hotel. Well, today is gonna be the Sheraton Universal. Now I limited myself to the lobby today. I wasn't going around. I wasn't going in the guest rooms because I've done that before, and I think they're redoing some of the guest rooms as well. So I want to see next time I go, maybe if the renovation has not been done, maybe see some of the showrooms, because I do understand they do have at least one or two showrooms to show. So that's what it's all about. So this is the lobby, right? So I understand they're going to be redoing their lobby bar too sometime soon. So it looked fine to me, but you can see that maybe the marbles kind of, it can be kind of dated, but it's very nice. Everything else around it is very nice. It's very well appointed, like they say, right? That's a well appointed hotel. What the hell does that mean? Well appointed. Anyway, I like the Sheraton. The Sheraton for groups, for guests. Remember, it's right below Universal Studios. So if you're into Hollywood Magic and all those kind of things and everything that comes along with that amusement park, well, this is the place for you to be, right? Can you get any closer? Yeah, there's one other hotel that's closer, but you know what? For my money, I'm staying at the Sheraton, okay? Just so you know, for my money, I'm staying at the Sheraton. So you heard it from Russell of Hotels. If you're going to Universal Studios and you need a hotel, check out the Sheraton. Boom, I said it. There you go. So anyway, let's move on. And I gotta, you know what? Today, okay, I'm not there yet, but in a minute. So before I move on, you always gotta toot your own horn, right? Top 50 social media influencers in global hospitality. Global hospitality 2025. Global is the key word here, right? That means international. That means around the globe. So put a globe up there, get a picture of a globe and you see all the 7 continents. That's what this means, right? Global hospitality, okay? Top 50 social media influencers in global hospitality. As I know you can see my picture there, right? My picture, my little, a summary of me or what I do or whatever. And then you see at the bottom right there, you see my picture in the middle right there. So shout out to, the International Hospitality Institute for that distinction. I do appreciate it. And once again, congrats to everyone else, all the other 49 people that received the distinction as being a top 50 social media influencer in global hospitality. So I appreciate them. Hopefully they appreciate me and everything that we do to kind of get on that list, right? Because it's not easy to get on that list, right? You do have to do something, right? So I just appreciate that. And I appreciate all the hotels that have, supported me and allowed me to come to their hotels and talk about their hotels in a good way, right? For the most part, right? And, do lives from there, make it my office of the day, take photos, take videos that show me around, all those things, because that's what it's all about. That's what I do, right? My job is to create that brand awareness. And just in case you didn't know of the Sheraton Universal, well, my job is to create that brand awareness, not just for me as Russell of Hotels, but for you that may not have known that hotel existed, right? You may know Universal Studios. You may be planning a trip there, and you may be like, where am I going to stay? There's 3 hotels in the same area. Where am I going to stay? Well, maybe you never seen someone showcase the other 2, but you've seen someone showcase the Sheraton Universal. So there you go. So maybe now you made up your mind, right? Now you know where you're staying, right? So anyway, the photos I'm showing will be of that hotel or of this hotel, the Sheraton Universal. I did not show any guest rooms today, but trust me, the guest rooms are very nice. They're well appointed. What does that mean, well appointed? Anyway, I don't know. Anyway, the comments are open. I'm live on YouTube, live on LinkedIn. So feel free to make your comments. If you're making comments on YouTube, of course, that's in real time. LinkedIn, I'll have to go back and take a look. And if you have comments, I will address those comments at that time. But YouTube is all in real time, right? So feel free to give me a shout out saying, hey, what's going on? Hey, good to hear from you. I love the Sheraton, whatever you want to say. You know what? This is your opportunity to say it, because that's what this is all about. It's all about interaction, engagement. That's why I do these things, because I love the engagement. I love the interaction. So there you go. And these things don't have to be that long. I tend to make them long just because sometimes I get lonely and I have no one to talk to. So I just talk to myself. And sometimes I just talk to people, just to random people out in social media land. So anyway, pretty sad. No, I'm joking. I'm not lonely like that. Anyway. And as you can tell, I entertain myself. Is my camera low or is it just me? Let me see. Oh, it could be just me. Okay, so this is outside of the hotel, right? So, you see the stars right there because it's in Hollywood, right? So, and the sign actually says Universal or Sheraton Universal, right? So that's walking up to the hotel under the porte cochere. Okay, that's where that is. So my question today is, and you know what? I have conversation with people just on the fly, right? And they ask me, how do you come up with some of the topics that you discuss on your show on the Daily Check-In or On Air with Russell of Hotels, which is that live hospitality talk show that everyone's talking about that comes on every Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Countdown to 300. I just did show number 397 the other day on Tuesday. So we're counting down and we're almost there, right? We're almost at 300. So there you go. So people ask me, well, where do you come up? How do you come up with the topics? I said a lot of topics I come up with, they're based on conversations. Some of them can be based on conversations that I'm having with people within the industry. You know, they can be salespeople, they can be GMs, they can be housekeeping managers, they can be VPs of operations for, you know, hotel related companies and management companies and all those, or ownership groups or whatever. They give me the topics. We're having a conversation. I just turn those conversations into a topic. Okay, so these, I don't just, a lot of them, some of them I do pull out of my butt, you know what I mean? But a lot of them I do get from other people because I've had, yeah, I did say pull out of my butt. I did say that. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. My mom always said, why do you have to say that? Why are you pulling things out of your butt? I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. I won't say that one again. If I know you're listening, you're going to make comments. So, but anyway, the topic is the importance of sales manager retention. Retention, meaning keeping people, meaning not losing good people that you may have, right? What is the main reason that we lose people? I don't know, but I'm going to go through this in a minute. So hold off on the three things right here. So I'm going to read this thing that I came up with. The importance of sales manager retention and why you should ask them what they want. I mean, this is okay. So if I'm a sales manager, of course, I'm expecting this from my director of sales and marketing, or maybe even from the general manager. I don't know. But I mean, you decide how that is, right? But the conversation needs to be had. And what is that conversation? Sales managers are often the face of your hotel to planners, like, you know, meeting planners, meeting professionals, corporate buyers, and groups. Yet they're also some of the most overlooked when it comes to support, development, and long-term engagement. If your hotel is experiencing sales turnover, ask yourself. And I noticed this, there's a lot of repeat positions that are on, and I look at LinkedIn, H Careers and Indeed. Some of these positions are ongoing, meaning they may disappear for a month or two, but then they're back on there, or 6 months and they're back on there, or a year and they're back on there. I'm like, why aren't we retaining people? Is it their choice that they're leaving, or is it a hotel choice they didn't work out? I don't know what that is, but I just know that a lot of hotels lose a lot of good people because they're not paying attention. They're not looking at the signs. They're not reading the signs. They're not seeing what's going on. They're not emotionally invested in these people. Okay. Those are things that I see, that I hear about, that, I have many conversations with people and they're asking me, well, what should I do in this situation? Or why don't they do this? Why don't they do that? I know you did some things when you were a director of sales and marketing. Like, yeah, well, maybe I did, but it's not one DOS fits all, right? Not one size fits all when it comes to director of sales and marketing or as a general manager. We can be just putting out fires sometimes, right? And we're not paying attention to that. Should we be paying attention to that? Yes. You should be paying attention to your resources, to your people that are there, because those are the resources. Those are the face of your organization, right? For the most part, at least they should be. Okay, if we're treating them the way we're supposed to be, they should be the face of your sales organization or the face of your hotel. You give me a sales manager who is actively soliciting, and you see them on social media a lot. That is the face, right? That's someone that's taking no for an answer, is not taking no for an answer. They're going after it and getting it. Okay. Now look at your sales team. Do you have passive people or do you got aggressive people? The passive people, if they want to leave, well, then maybe you need to let them leave. But the aggressive people, the people that are the face, or they've taken control of that, or they demand that they're the face without asking, those are people you want to keep. Those are the people you want to invest in. Invest, reinvest, all that stuff. But sometimes we don't pay attention to that stuff. We just like, okay, and then when they get ready to leave, we're like, oh, okay, well, maybe we can offer you more money. Well, how do you know money was the obstacle for them? It may have been opportunity. It may have been training. It may have been development. But we always want to throw money on it because we know that maybe they're going to go to the competition now. So I got to at least, one up the competition. Well, if you're doing that, if someone has gone somewhere else, you're late to the party. Okay. You're late to the party. Is your hotel experiencing sales turnover? Ask yourself, when's the last time we've asked our sales managers what their goals are? Do we train them for more than just the product we sell? The missing piece, training and development. Most sales managers are onboarded quickly and pushed into the sales funnel, but without an ongoing investment in training, they may never fully develop into strategic sellers you need. These are things to think about. Just listen to these. And these are going to be on my website, on the blog, okay? Key development areas, advanced sales strategy, beyond the RFPs and site tours, emotional intelligence and client communication, social selling and LinkedIn personal branding. Do we teach that? How do you do that? I can look at LinkedIn and see that everyone is not doing that. A lot of people are not doing that, okay? Are we talking about that as a director of sales, as our sales leader? Are we talking about social selling and LinkedIn personal branding? Are we talking about that? From the show of hands, I see no one with their hands up, okay? Meaning they're not teaching that. Contract negotiation and risk assessment. Understanding pace reports, forecasting, and revenue goals. Public speaking and presentation skills for trade shows. A lot of times we throw people out there to the wolves when it comes to trade shows. And believe me, I know who's been thrown out there without any training or without any conversation, because I go to these shows all the time. I have one-on-one appointments. A lot of these people don't know what to talk about. They don't know where to start. They're already starting in on, this is what we have. What do you have? No. What about getting to know me? What about talking about yourself? Not necessarily as this person that's selling, but I've been in this hotel this amount of time. I've had 10 years in the industry. This is what I did before I came here. I mean, a lot of these things are important, right? Getting to know someone, building that relationship, those are the important things. Not asking for the business as soon as you sit down. What do you have for me? And believe me, I've been in that situation where I've heard people say that. I'm like, huh? What about me? What about me? But anyway, do we train those people? And that's what all this is I'm talking about. That was the training. That's the key development areas that people need to be. Either they need help on that, or they may need it, or we need to help them with that. When you train them like they're future, like they are future directors of sales and marketing or future GMs, they start acting like it. So train people like, they're the future of your hotel. Like, okay, in the future, they're going to be a director of sales and marketing. Why not train them from the start about, with those tools? What if they want to be, train them like they're going to be a general manager? Why not start that from day one? Why give people a chance to go somewhere else? I'm just saying. And if you do that initially, they're more likely to stay. Ask them what they want. Don't assume all sales managers want to be directors of sales and general managers. Okay, let's don't assume that, right? But let's give them the tools and let's find out what they're looking for. Then maybe you can train them accordingly or set them up for success accordingly, however you want to do that. Some goals might include becoming a national account director, specializing in event sales or corporate verticals, transitioning into marketing or revenue strategy. Why not give them some training in that stuff? Creating content to build their brand alongside your hotels. What? Who would do that? Oh my God, that's crazy. That's crazy talk right there. I'm gonna say that one more time. Creating content to build their brand alongside your hotel's brand. Hand in hand, Anyway, I mean, am I getting to some people, or people like this is going over someone's head? Probably so. Have you asked them this? A simple one-on-one or anonymous survey could uncover what's motivating or frustrating to your sales team. Have we done that before? Just do a survey, like, hey, let's slip them a survey during one of those staff meetings that we have that we really don't discuss anything. Why not send them a survey and say, hey, what are we missing here, or what are you looking for? And this could be it can be a one-on-one that we do, and every director of sales and marketing should be doing one-on-ones with their salespeople, right? That's when you find out. That's when you build those relationships. That's when you find out what kind of makes them tick. It's not always about, did you make your goals? You didn't make your goals. Well, you're on the hot seat. We're going to put you on a pit plan. It's not all about that. Believe me, if you would do the other thing first, more than likely they wouldn't have to do a pit plan, because they're, that hunger that they have, you're giving them something for that hunger, right? But if you don't know what the hunger is, if you never asked, we don't know. We just assume that, oh, they just want to be a sales manager here. They're not motivated. Well, they're not motivated because maybe you're not motivating them. Let's think about that. Final thought on that. Retaining great sales managers isn't about pay. It's about respect, recognition, and opportunity. Wow, that's a good one, Russell. That was a good one. And if you're not developing your sales team, you're developing your competitions. Let me say that again. If you're not developing your sales team, you're developing your competition's team. Okay, because what happens? If you don't develop them, they'll go somewhere else. And a lot of times they go to your competition. So stop them from going to the competition. Ask them what they want. And if you can give it to them, give it to them. And a lot of times it's about the training and development. It's not 100% about money. Oh, they want to make more money. They want to do this. They want to do that. No. A lot of times it can be just about opportunity, training, all that kind of training and development. So let's just make sure. And that came from me. That's Russell Fotel's quote, right? I'm gonna say it one more time. If you're not developing your sales team, you're developing your competitions. Boom. Okay, so now that I said that, now I got that out of the way, now I'm gonna address the three things here. The importance of sales manager retention. Number one, stronger client relationships equals more business. That seems pretty simple, right? Number two, increase revenue and higher conversion rates. Yeah, probably so. Number three, stronger internal culture and lower team turnover. Yeah, people are happy. You're retaining people because you're giving them what they're looking for, what they want. Yeah, it's going to turn into lower team turnover, because contrary to what people think, turnover costs you money, costs the hotels money. Because just think about it. Say someone's leaving next week. You're going to be able to hire someone before they leave? Probably not. There's a ramp up for them as well, right? So I'm saying estimated time, 90 days before they really get up and running. Well, that's 90 days of, they're not, for the most part, they're not generating anything. They're trying to learn. They're not generating anything. So you got to make sure you know that. So it's expensive to lose people. You cannot go without salespeople, because you're without one person. That's one person not selling. That's one person's not making new relationships. That's one person not following up on things. It's one person's not responding to RFPs. I mean, think about that. Think about the amount of money that's involved with losing a key figure in your sales team. A lot of people don't think about it like that. A lot of people don't even look at it like that. It does cost you money. So why not take care of the people that are there? Unless you don't want them. If you don't want them, then let them go. But I don't think I'm sure there's more people that we want to keep than that we want to get rid of. Okay, so there you go. I thought I'd share that with you. Let's move on. I'm almost done. Don't worry. My blog. So the information I just gave you, I'm going to put on my blog. So just go russellofhotels.com, click on the blog, bing, and all the information I just talked about will be there. Okay. And that's the importance of sales manager retention and why you should ask them what they want. What do you want? Okay. Once again, this is Sheraton Universal. This is outside. This is right next to the Portico Share. This is the main entrance, the roundabout, if you will. And there's a water fountain right there. Okay. So there you go. Next thing, On Air with Russell of Hotels, that live hospitality talk show everyone's talking about every Tuesday at 1 o'clock PST, live on LinkedIn, live on YouTube. The same platforms, the same times, or the same platforms, LinkedIn and YouTube, that I'm on right now are the same ones for On Air with Russell of Hotels. So make sure you check it out. If you didn't check out Tuesday's show, make sure you go back. It's here on LinkedIn and YouTube, the replay. So feel free to rewind that and check that out as well. Would appreciate you. Would appreciate you. And that was the lobby. Was that the lobby? Let's see. Where was that? Yeah, that's kind of the lobby area. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of sitting areas. That's one thing about a lot of Marriott properties, and Sheraton, of course, is within that Marriott family. But there's a lot of places to sit, a lot of places just to be, to hang out, a lot of places to work. If you want to, like a working desk. In fact, I think that next one, yeah, you can have six people, or you and five people, and there's probably another three of these kind of tables in the lobby area. So the lobby's pretty big, where you're able to, sit with maybe you're having a meeting, an impromptu meeting or whatever. Hey, meet me at the Sheraton. Maybe they're staying at the other hotel. Meet me at the Sheraton. We can, have breakfast, and then we can, go over this thing before the meeting, before this sales call we're going to make or whatever. So there's ample space to do work. There's ample space just to hang out. So this is one of those hotels where you got families, because it's next to Universal Studios, right? And then it's next to corporate as well, like Universal, NBC, all the major studios are located in this area as well, not too far from Hollywood. So it's kind of that mixture. You get the corporate people and the families, especially right now during, you're getting into the summer months, spring, summer months. There's going to be heavy, going to be more, of course, more families, but you're going to get some corporate people in there as well. Hence the reason why they have these kind of working desks and things like that, where you can get plugged in and make sure everything is good, right? They got that free Wi-Fi too. Make sure you're a Marriott Bonvoy member. Okay, I am. This is my office of the day. So just make sure you have all that taken care of before you get there, and you just click on the guest in the lobby, click, bing, you got that free Wi-Fi. Got that free Wi-Fi. So anyway, any questions at all, please feel free to contact me. They said, contact me? Like, with a question. Russell@russellofhotels.com is my email. Go to russellofhotels.com. That is my, that's my website, right? So all my information is there. The blog is there. Of course, my email. My phone number is there. People rather call me. You wouldn't believe how many phone calls I get. Hey, you said I can call you, so I'm calling. Okay, that's fine. That's what the number's for, right? So it's how you want to communicate with me, not how I want you to communicate with me. No, it's about you. So just remember that. Okay, so I'm accessible 24/7. You can't expect results if you're hiding. Visibility is not luck. It's strategy. So it's strategy that I come on and do a daily check-in Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's strategy why I come on and do On Air with Russell of Hotels every Tuesday. It's strategy why I've almost done 300 episodes of On Air with Russell of Hotels. It's strategy that I do Hospitality Unplugged, my new web series that I've done 15 episodes on, that I drop a new episode every Saturday morning. That is all strategy. That's not luck. It's not luck that you happen to be, scrolling on LinkedIn and you see me. It's not luck that you happen to be scrolling on YouTube and you see me, right? No, that's all strategy. Visibility is the key. For hotels, for people like myself, visibility is the key, because no one will know you exist unless they see you. There you go, right? Visibility leads to brand awareness. Brand awareness leads to brand excitement, and brand excitement leads to bookings or business. There you go. That's all I got to say. You guys have a great day. Thank you again for joining this daily check-in. Remember, tomorrow is another daily check-in, because it's Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And remember, encouraging engagement is all about that. So feel free to always make comments. Anytime I do a live or the daily check-in, as well as On Air with Russell of Hotels, I welcome the engagement, right? So, I love that. I love it. So, if you can make comments, because that's what it's all about. So anyway, that is it. You guys have a great day. Happy Thursday, and we'll see you tomorrow. And as always, peace.